Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Evan Young, newly YouTube star and founder of Matter of Truth and magician extraordinaire. Evan, thank you for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So, for those of the audience who don't know you, please just introduce yourself a little bit, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, my name is Evan Young. I'm a student here at Liberty. I'm in my senior year. I'm in the Biblical Studies program. I'm from North Carolina, and I come from a background of studying different philosophies and apologetics and biblical studies, and recently started a YouTube channel where I get to talk about those kind of things and address really, really pressing questions.
Interesting. So, can you tell me a little bit more about that YouTube channel and what got you started into that?
Yeah, so I've always been a really curious kid, always been the kid to ask all kinds of questions, and when I was younger I didn't really have a great resource for that. But now with the rise of YouTube and how popular creative content is becoming, I figured there'd be some resource for it, and there isn't. So I recently with Dryden Blod, he's a magician here on campus, we partnered together and we've been putting together an organization called Matter of Truth, in which I go on and I answer different philosophical questions and deep things like that. My latest video is Does God Exist?, where I break down a reasonable response to whether or not God exists and why we should believe it.
And how did you get into that? What's your background in terms of that kind of discussion and making those kind of videos?
Yeah, so my background from that kind of discussion comes from the fact that ever since I've been little, I've been so curious, in fact, my parents bought me these book series that were, one of them was entitled, When Do Fish Sleep? Or Why Do Clocks Run Clockwise? And other kinds of questions. So ever since I've been really young, I've just read and read different things like that have really been no use but to explain to others. But then as I grew, the questions got deeper and harder, and my teachers didn't really like it because there were questions that they didn't really answer very well. They didn't know what to do with. So I continued to search for more answers. And by no means do I think that I know everything, but because I've had these kind of questions, I think that I have a unique way of explaining a perspective on these kind of deep questions. So I'm excited to have a platform like YouTube and the internet to do so.
And then how have you honed those skills here on campus or throughout the rest of your career?
Yeah, so I have been really lucky to be part of the Liberty University forensics team. And the forensics team is not forensic science, it's not CSI and dead bodies. What it is, forensics means in the public court or public speaking. So our forensics team is a public speaking competitive group where we compete in all kinds of things like platform events, kind of like TED Talks. We also do intern events like acting, or my primary role is the debate coach, where we actually go against other public speakers and we get a resolution and we have to debate a certain side of that resolution. And that has caused me to think very quickly and analyze questions and arguments very quickly, and then to very clearly deliver information about that resolution and about that question.
Very interesting. And so the forensics team is a separate entity from the debate team on campus, correct?
Right. So if you're walking around DeMoss and you see the second floor and you see debate center and all those trophy cases and all the fancy stuff, that's not us. We are in Green Hall. We're part of the School of Communication, but we still get to do really awesome things in an academic and competitive atmosphere.
Very cool, very cool. And so you have that part, and then you have magic. How did that kind of correlate?
Right. Yeah, so magic was just kind of a hobby I picked up. Junior year of high school, I was up late on a Christmas break, not sure what to do without assignments. And I was watching YouTube videos, and I saw this guy do a magic trick, and he's like, hey, if you want to learn how to do this, check out this video.
Right.
And it was super easy, so I was like, man, I can learn even more. So I just got to learn it more and more and more, and then I met Dryden Blod, and we continued to practice together. And that has helped me kind of communicate things in really unique ways. Anybody can kind of get up there and talk, but if you have a skill like magic or music, then you can kind of add a different element to it. So I've got to implement that in some of my preaching and communicating.
Sure. And so what do you want to do future focus? What is the 5-year plan with Matter of Truth and just your life in general being a senior?
Yeah, so next up for me is a Master's of Christian Ministry here at the School of Divinity at Liberty, where I'll continue to get connections to other churches and grow my communication skills. As far as Matter of Truth goes, we're kind of sort of in our early stages, so I'm going to continue to release content and answer questions and see where that grows. If that continues to grow in that way, that's awesome. Or if not, I might also do that live. I've gotten a chance with a ministry here called Youth Quest to travel around to different churches and hold question and answer sessions where different students and different church members will ask me, hey, what do you think the Bible means when it says this, or what does the Bible say about that? So whether it's through an internet platform or actual live days with churches, I can hope to continue to address some of the deeper questions and give intellectual answers for a Christian perspective.
And so that, before the show, that made me ask you the question, okay, so is it just religious perspectives, or is it other answers too? What do you kind of specialize in?
Yeah, so my specialty, my background is biblical studies, and my degree is in biblical studies, and my background is in theology and apologetics and philosophy. However, I am totally willing to speak on whatever topics. I've answered questions all the way from when do fish sleep to what do you think about the separation of church and state to if Pinocchio said my nose will now grow, what will happen? So all kinds of ridiculous things have been really fun to talk about and answer and make us think, but I also address things with the church like what about creation versus evolution, what about some of the more social issues that we face.
So if Pinocchio said, my nose will grow now, what will happen?
So that's really interesting. This is one of my favorite things to talk about. There's two possible things. It depends on how Pinocchio's nose works.
Okay.
If it only grows when he thinks he's telling a lie, then it will grow because he thinks he's telling a lie. He thinks he's trying to trick you.
Okay.
But if Pinocchio's nose grows, that was unintentional running, but if it grows, whether he thinks he's lying or not, with what's actually going to happen, then Pinocchio is actually omniscient. Because imagine what if he said, tomorrow the stock market will crash. If his nose grew, we would know what would happen with the stock market. If it didn't grow, we would know he was telling the truth that it crashed. So it's very, very possible that Pinocchio is in fact omniscient.
Interesting. Okay, so are you willing to take a few answers from the audience later on in the show?
I would love to. That'd be a really great thing to do.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show with us. We have a video I've actually been told is the oldest video in after curfew history. It dates back to 1954, and we've remastered all of the audio, and we've even introduced our new actors. So please enjoy the video, and thank you so much.
Thank you.